welcome to the S15 build series. This car has ended up happening because I had the old S15, which a lot of you will probably recognise. We'll show you some clips here. So this S15, once this is finished, is going to be brand new, really a representation of what we do, the cars we like to build, the standard we like to do stuff, and the kind of style that I like for a car that is, let's say, a street slash, maybe I guess competition, but it's not a competition car, but a street race car. We're going to take you along, show you the whole build process. I'm not going to show you everything, but as much as we think is worthwhile with filming, how we built the car, and then right the way to the end, and then follow the story of the car, where we do Up in Smoke tour. I think we've got Jap Fest in 2.5 months. So as you see this car now, this has got to be finished in 2.5 months. The Up in Smoke tour, which is going to be right across Europe, Portugal, Spain, Italy, France, drifting across all of those countries, lots of different tracks. Then throughout the rest of the year, hopefully take it over to the LZ World Tour in Ireland, more Silverstone demos, Castle Combe demos, Dory Fest. We'll show you the build process, follow along to see how we get on with building this car and then driving it for the rest of the year. Time to get the 15 out of storage. You not got it out yet, Will? Not got it out yet, man?
I know, we're just ignoring it.
Huh?
Seeing what I'm getting with my car.
Well, you can have that tube front if you want.
Look,
I'll cut off and have it.
So here we have the 365 barn find.
Oh, nice. Car's alignment is on point, mate.
Can you just do that to steer? What the fuck?
Yeah, but it's a lot easier if you just have steering that works. Hence why I left it with steering that worked.
Always Carl. If anyone wants his Insta, it's at S15_CD. Everyone report him for community violations. Was it yes, sir? What it was yeah?
Point, mate.
Where are you going? Shooting some cinematics on that.
Steer more. Steers left a bit. Now straight. What do you reckon, Will?
It's pretty small.
Looks all white, doesn't it?
It's pretty, you know what's really white?
Josh, what do you reckon? Is it all white?
Just trying to breathe a minute. But it's all white, yeah.
You've got the old vaping on, you know what I mean?
Safe as well.
Fucking traction control.
Yeah, mate, he didn't turn the traction control on. It was wheel spinning the whole way up.
You're always leaving marks anywhere.
Exactly.
I've got like marks on there,
But
marks in my
just all
pants.
So yeah, here's a new 15. Just deciding how much fit we cut off. It is actually quite nice, just deciding how much we change. Tube front's all coming off, because that's crap. Whoever did it, sorry, it's crap. This is the new shell, ready to get built up into the new car for next year. I mean, it's clean. That's original, and that does not need welding. So.
Oh, we should start taking a piss out.
Well, this is the content people want.
No, well, some people.
How we can't post that.
Plan with this car, basically, I got it like it is from a friend. This car was actually built a while ago for someone else. A few bits of fab work that I'm not happy with, so I'm going to change those. Basically, the reason I took it is because it's a clean shell. There's no rust. It's a really clean shell. So I know I can basically put this car together and I can not have to think about the chassis for 4 or 5 years at least, while we get on with other stuff and get on with other builds. My S15 that you currently would see is going to lad who works for me, Will. He's going to do a bit of an underside restoration on it because it's needed that for a while, and then he is going to basically, he wanted a 15, so he's going to build that to be the 15 that he's always wanted. So he's swapping a lot of bits out of his 14. So plan with this 15. Currently not a fan of the tube front at all. It's not our style. It's not done how I think it should be done. It's not particularly nice. Whole front's going to come off. Going to cut it from about here, just in front of the tension arm brackets. We cut off from here, straight off there. Then basically, whole strap top will be plated down to about there, and then we'll run our new tube work. The front of the chassis will be plated back here, and then there will be tubes that come out forward of that, which is everything that we make is going to meet to that. So it'd be a bit like, I'll show you this one that we did recently. So this is one we did recently that's been painted, just waiting to go back together now. But it'll be similar to this. This hasn't had the chassis legs cut off. This we've left the legs and then just gone off the front. But mine will be cut off here, like Jay's S14 that we did, and then same sort of basis, plated up here, tube down, so main tube there, tube around the top. Might make it removable, might not sure yet, haven't decided. Boot floor's been cut out, God knows why, not really sure. Also they've cut the latch off of the rear panel, so that's annoying. So I'll work out whether I want to go with aero catches on the boot or not. I might do for ease, but I'm not sure yet. Cut that back further to the chassis legs and then make a new boot floor that looks nice. Has a firewall and stuff in it already. Now, they're not really how I would do it. I would make it probably a lot nicer with some fancy stuff in the panels. And then show you inside. The cage is actually quite nice. Again, it's not how I would have done it. I would have put the main hoop further back for a bit more clearance for a seat for tall people like me. But it's not awful. Annoyingly, the doors have been gutted and they've got poly windows. I like electric windows because I like having the window open most of the time. So I'm probably going to have to change doors. Door bars aren't too bad. They're a little bit high, but they're fine for getting in and out. It's got a dash that's already cut, so I'll use that. Cage wise, rear X isn't where I'd put it to, but it'll be fine. These two are going to come out. I'm going to put a diagonal in it and then run a harness bar so I've got a bit more room for the seats. It has got provisions for air jacks, but they're in the way of the seat, so those are going to be coming out. Underside's going to get a fresh coat of stone guard, and then it will be painted again in probably grey, because I quite like the grey underneath. It looks clean, looks nice. And then yeah, the engine package that's currently my 15, that is going to get a quick refresh, just check over, make sure it's all good, and then that is going to go into this car. The box needs a rebuild because I did third gear synchro at Matsuri the other day, and I've broken fourth gear selector, so that box is going to go off to Julian at Garage D to have a refresh ready for next year. Diff, the one that I normally run in the car, we found the backlash was starting to loosen off a lot, so before it broke at Matsuri we changed it to another diff that I had. So that again is with Julian at Garage D. That's going to have a rebuild come back. So basically the drivetrain is going to be the same. I might change turbo, I might not, I don't know yet. Drivetrain is going to predominantly stay the same. It's going to have wise fab on the front instead of Geomasters, a wider kit. So the current kit is 55mm fenders, going to have 75mm fenders on it. Other than that, fairly similar. I'm probably going to make a whole new chassis harness and put it on a PMU instead of swapping all of the old wiring over. I'm just going to make new harness because it's probably easier, and it means Will can have the OEM harness, make it a bit easier for him. Obviously same Digi-Dash. Fueling wise, probably going to stay the same, keep a stock tank in it because it's just easier and it works, and it's balanced well, it works for centre of gravity. It's forward of the rear wheels, keeps the weight between the wheels, and it's nice and low down as well where it wraps around the front of the subframe. So that'll probably stay as it is. I'll probably put French's Performance fuel hat in it just to convert it nicely. New seats, which I think we're going to work with Sam from S15 Drift for some new seats. Hopefully work with BC coilovers to get some BC coilovers on it. Yeah, all new lines, probably new coolers, new boost pipes. By hopefully, I don't know, February, March, should be back together and go on the dyno, be checked over, and then be good to go. Ready for, I'll probably use it again for Up in Smoke next year because it was a very fun car for it. It wasn't too uncomfortable or anything like that. And then all the Silverstone demos. Going to film the process of building this car and see how we get on. First thing as always, mark out your cuts, double check you're happy. This is how we always cut it. We always cut it in line with the strut tower because then you can plate the strut tower with 3mm, build everything from that. And then same for down here, measure off of an equal point you've got both sides. Bear in mind S chassis are strange shapes sometimes, so always double check, measure from 4 different points. So we always measure from the front of this, the back of this, the back of the leg, and then the hole down here on the chassis leg. So we get this line here, that's where we're cut, so we're just in front of the tension arm bracket, so you don't have to remake any of that. Obviously this one luckily has good threads in it, so I haven't got to redo any of that. So mark that one that side, replicate it this side. I've double checked all of the measurements from everything this side and it's the same. And then you basically just cut the front off. So front will come off there, cut off there, then you can start making plates, start plating everything and start on with the fab work. First stage done, everything's marked out, and I've cut the front off. So now it's going to be cleaning up the bits of old tube, plating the strut towers, and then plating the chassis legs, and I can start making tube. As you can see, cut off from the top, that'll all get plated. From the bottom, that'll get plated too, and then it'll all be made back out with tube. So yeah, let's get some more trimmed up, ready to go, and then start doing some more fab work. Strut towers are now prepped, ground back, all the old stuff ground back. There was a couple of tiny little bits of rust between the skins, so I took those skins off, cleaned all that up, that's where we're ready to go. Chassis legs are all ground back, so the next thing is make templates for both the strut towers and the chassis legs. So I'll show you now. So if you see here, this is where it's really common for S chassis to rust. Not normally the strut top skin, it's normally this outer skin. So if you're doing like a tube front, then we always plate this whole area anyway, so you can just get rid of this outer skin because it doesn't do anything anyway. So that's all prepped, so now we'll make a template which will go from pretty much this mark here down, and then we'll carry up to here. That'll be then the plate that we attach our tubes to, and then same this side. That's all trimmed, ready. Normally you wouldn't have this angular piece, this was done on the previous tube front, but it's alright to leave it, it's not doing any harm. So yeah, that's all prepped. Down here on the chassis leg, so that's all cut back, that is all now prepped. And again, this will just get capped, seal up the inside with all through the holes. You can seal up all the inside with some wax oil or Dynax, something like that in the future. So this will now I'll make caps for here, plates for up there, and then that is then ready to start creating the tube structure off of that. Front end of the chassis is all welded up, plated up, chassis legs are plated, strut towers plated. So now next thing is going to be to make tubes that come off of here, come out, and then everything else is built off of that. So the front tubs will be built off that. The front main tubes that come from here down to the chassis legs will be built off of that. Radiator support will be built off of that. Front tension arm bracket support will be built off of that. That's the next thing to do. Everything's all welded up. Probably clean up a few bits and bobs, and then start making the tube stuff. Once the chassis is all plated, strut tops plated, chassis legs plated and stuff, and we're ready to basically start making tubes, before we do anything else, it gets leveled on the ramp. So obviously when a car's on the ramp, it's 9 times out of 10 it's not level. So before we do anything, we set the chassis level on the ramp, and then we check it with a laser, because basically all of our tube fronts, we put everything in with a laser, so it's as close as it can be. You might be a mil or two out here and there, but like it's as close as possible, rather than setting everything off of measurements off of the chassis legs. You never know what's actually going to be straight or not. So I'll show you how we're doing that. So obviously laser across the strut tops, and then we adjust the ramp feet accordingly to get the chassis to be sitting level. We either with it up on the jacks or going down on the hydraulic jacks or sitting on one of the catches on the ramp. You kind of decide what you're going to use as your level mark, and then always set everything to that. Then set it level across the strut tops, obviously with a level, and then we check it with the laser, which we then measure down to chassis legs. So I've cut these tubes, so these tubes will go on there to extend the chassis legs out. So those are the first part you put on. So I put those on, then I'll put probably a lower rad support in, mount the tension rod brackets, and then after that you can then do tube from the strut top down to there, that one, there, down to there, and then you can do your top tube. What I do next, once I've cut those tubes, I then clamp a level to the top of the chassis leg both sides to give a kind of gauge. Set the tubes in the same place on a tack, and then basically position them so as they are even height wise, so they come out dead straight. Check them off the laser, and then they can get fully welded in. Now made, this is the lower rad support, slots in here, so that will pick up tension rod brackets. That rad will be supported off of it, probably use it as a jacking point. Yeah, it's kind of like the main structure, links the chassis legs together, brings the whole front end together, and then as soon as that's in, we can start making those tubes. The main tube structure is now made. The strut tops are plated, chassis legs are plated, chassis leg tubes have been extended out, and I've made the brace for the tension arm brackets, which I guess is kind of like the new rad support. So the main frame is all back together. The next thing is going to be to link the strut towers back into the to the chassis legs, so that'll be the next tube to make. So I'll show you what we've done now, so you can get an idea of the process. As you can see, strut tops all done, main chassis leg tubes are made, and then the lower rad support which links the chassis legs is done. So we then make brackets to link these back into there, and then everything can kind of be supported off that. A lot of the time the intercooler ends up getting supported off that. Yeah, so not bad for the first day. I only managed to get about half a day in it today because I was busy this morning with customers. Got the old tube front removed, and then yeah, got the groundwork in for the new front end. Another couple of more days and should have kind of a front end, a good looking front end. So someone previously had cut the boot floor out for some reason. So anyway, it's no problem. Just going to do my own sort of like custom flat boot floor. I'll show you what I've done so far. So tube going across there. That's going to have the jacking point built off the bottom of that. And then first infill panel has been made. Just going to have some nice panel work in it. And then you're going to have a second panel going up there. Another tube, another probably box section or something in the middle to support the plate, so as it can be load bearing if it needs to be. Still in the middle of doing tube front as well. So main tube front structure's made, top tube's made, chassis leg tubes are made, intercooler's been hung, just needs the brackets mounting. Headlights have been mounted, so next is going to be making the panel work, making the tubs, mounting all coolers. She's a big girl. That will be about that.
Oh mate, you've actually done a mash up.
Huh? What did we mash up that one?
Not, no, I'm sorry. Don't fucking,
sorry about your pain.
Don't, wait.
15's on the ramp. Ready to take the engine out. This car is now coming apart. We're going to take the engine and stuff out now, and then ready for Will to start doing his chassis refurb. Engine's all out. Here is the old bay, which is now Mr. Williams. Box out, ready for a refresh. 15, engine is all out. Engine's all out, a few more bits to strip out the bay, and then this is then all wheels.
And fix the bonnet.
I'll fix the bonnet, we'll get a new one.
I'll fix it, it's fine.
This wasn't my fault actually. 2 times this bonnet came up and smashed into the windscreen. Didn't smash the windscreen, 2 times it came up. Both times, not my fault. It's a little bit weird. It wasn't my fault. First time was Jake, other Jake, and second time was Josh at Castle Combe. Decided to leave the cat. Well, he said he put him down. He definitely didn't, because we shifted into second. Then we were looking at a bonnet. Seems a shame to let this car go, really, doesn't it?
I mean, you know it's going into good hands.
Yeah, but it's had some serious memories. This car. Yeah. The amount this car's done in the last year and a half.
You sound like you're going to cry.
No, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to miss it though. It has a lot of memories.
It does.
Oh, do you know what though? Same car in it.
Well, yeah.
It's like the broom from Only Fools and Horses. Same broom, it's just had 10 heads and 10 different handles. It's the same car. It's just got new everything.
Yeah, it's just nicer.
Yeah.
Cleaner.
Yeah, something like that.
No rust, no holes in the cells. And it has chassis legs.
It does have chassis legs. So this is the new one, which we've already done a lot of the tube front. Structure is already done, headlights mounted, coolers are mounted, intercooler and rad are mounted. Still got to cut the tube around there to make the front removable. Do tubs, bit of fab work on the firewall, bit to adapt on the cage. We'll get rid of this tube here, put a diagonal in the main hoop. Get rid of these. Did have provisions for air jacks, but they're right in the way of putting a seat in it, so got to get rid of them. Mount seats. Hope you enjoyed the build video 1, bit of the process of building the car. There is a lot more to come. On the next video you'll see us getting to the stage where I'm at right now, which is basically you'll see finishing off the tube front, all the fabrication work, tubbing the rears, doing the firewall inside, mounting all the front end, mounting the kit, showing you how to mount the quarters, capping off the bottom of the quarters on the back, made a jacking bar for the back, prepping it for paint, prepping the inside for paint, and then got it into primer, and then that's where we are now. So stick around, watch the next video and follow the build series to see how we turn basically an S15 shell into a, I suppose you could say, basically a pro level car in the space of like 3 months. All right, see you in a bit.